Winner, winner, chicken bloody dinner. This and more on Drop Your Buffs, a podcast discussing Australian Survivor. On this podcast, we'll be discussing Australian Survivor that aired on Sunday, the 16th of October. So if you haven't seen this episode yet and don't want to be spoiled, grab your things and head back to camp. Don't forget to subscribe to this podcast if you haven't already. You can follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Just go to dropyourbuffs.com for more details. My name is Stuart, and with me tonight is my very special guest, Eliana.
Hi.
How's it going, Eliana?
Good, thanks.
That's good. Thanks for joining us. Craig can't be with us tonight, but he certainly is here in spirit. Isn't that right, Craig?
100%.
Yep, that's right, 100%. Well, should we start talking about this episode then?
Mm-hmm.
What do you reckon?
Yes.
Did you like it?
Yeah, it was very surprising.
Yeah, no, there were lots of surprises in this one. It started off straight off the back of the last episode. They came off that previous episode where we had the flick blind side of Brookie. Yeah,
that was really good.
That was a good move, and we heard from Sam, and Sam called it was like option B, blowing up in your face, and he was just devastated about Brooke, wasn't he?
Yeah, it's pretty sad.
Well, and I thought what was sad as well was Sam's relationship with Lee is now pretty rocky, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty much stuffed up now.
It is. It was only a few days ago that they were sharing a bed together.
I know, right?
And now they're frenemies, aren't they? Are they frenemies or just plain out enemies?
Sort of in the middle.
Now we're on day 46. And Flick is she's speaking to Matt to try and explain herself as to what happened in that blind side, and she just said that what happened really was that she really just trusted Lee and Elle more than Sam and Brooke, and so she was just making that move like a preemptive move before it got too far along with Sam and Brooke. And Matt was obviously a bit hurt, wasn't he?
Yeah, he looked a bit upset.
Yeah, what was he saying about that?
Well,
remember?
I think he was a bit upset about he wasn't really in with the plan. He got a bit left out. No one really told him what to do.
Well, he was blindsided by the blind side, wasn't he?
Yes.
Really? Well, he was. It's funny because he was just saying he doesn't like it when people say it's just a game, because he thinks that is just an excuse. He said that it is more than just a game, and there's emotions involved, and he was obviously pretty hurt by that. But then we see Flick, she's talking to the camera, and she said she wants to make the final three with Elle and Lee. So that's what she was saying at that point of the episode. Then we have Flick, Lee and Elle are on the beach, and they're discussing Christy, and they're basically sort of saying, look, if it gets to it, Christy is the fourth in our alliance of four. She is the fourth person. Like, she's on the bottom of our alliance of four. So if anything happens, we'll vote Christy out. Now, Christy saw them on the beach, and she came over and she, just to see, hey guys, what's going on? And she was obviously worried about what she thought was her alliance having a conversation without her, and she was right to be worried, wasn't she? Because that's exactly what they were doing. They were just talking about her behind her back.
Yeah.
So, and then what did she say next? You remember?
She was saying that she was a bit worried about that she saw her alliance talking, and she wasn't a part of it.
Exactly.
But I really think that her alliance is really underestimating Christy.
Her alliance is... you mean that's her strength? Is it they've been underestimating Christy all along?
Yeah, she's gotten out lots of other tribe members before, and they just don't see it coming.
Exactly. Well, I mean, it'd be great if we had Craig here, because Craig would go and pull out his spreadsheet and we'd work out exactly who had voted for what. But I think Christy has voted for a lot of the people who have actually gone. Is that right, Craig?
100%.
Okay, thanks for that, Craig. Well, no, the thing that I thought Christy was talking about that was funny was something very Australian that she said. Do you remember what that was?
No, I don't recall that.
She said, "I'm just going to run to the dunny." Now, you wouldn't hear that on US Survivor, would you?
No.
No, they wouldn't say that on US Survivor. So if Christy works with Matt and Sam, she realises that she'll get to at least the final three. Whereas I think she's correctly worked out that if she sticks with Flick, Lee and Elle, she's probably going to get fourth, and that's as far as she's going to go, and she can get one place further at least if she goes with Matt and Sam.
I thought that was a pretty good decision.
Yeah.
I don't trust Flick that much.
well then we see Matt talking to camera, and he's saying that that the time to strike is now, because if you lose too many more people, you won't have enough numbers to make a move. So he was saying the time to strike is now, and that made me. I thought it was quite funny. You could see he's got a big tattoo on his
Yes.
arm, and what's that tattoo of?
So like a dragon or snake or something?
I thought it was an eagle, like a striking eagle. So he was talking about time to strike, and on his tattoo, it's like a big striking eagle. And Flick then suddenly, I think she thinks that Christy's been talking to Matt, which she has, and she's suddenly very angry. She doesn't like it when other people start,
Yeah, it's so funny.
start making their own plans. Now, Lee has no concerns about Christy's loyalty, he said, though. So even though we know as viewers what's going on, Christy's talking to both to Matt and Sam.
Yeah.
Looks like Lee doesn't really think that, though. He has no concerns about Christy's loyalty. He was saying she's a good egg with a kind soul. So I think he obviously respects her, but she's still probably going to be fourth if she sticks with him, though. That's right, isn't it?
Yeah.
And he also made the point, actually, that the only reward that she has won, which was letters from home, she gave to Matt.
Yeah, that was really nice of her. I think she's a really nice person.
Yeah, no, it is, and it's good that Lee knows that and he respects that as well. So it was nice that he also brought that up. And then we hear from Matt again, and it's funny. He was saying Lee and Elle are like the parents, and Flick and Christy are like the daughters.
That's so true.
And so I think he's worried that Lee and Elle just have too much sway over Flick and Christy, and so he's really working really hard to try and bring Flick and Christy over to his way of thinking. Because he made the point, which I think is pretty true. He said that Flick made a dumb move aligning with the strongest couple in the game.
Yeah, I thought that was a pretty silly decision.
Which, I mean, that's, you can't really argue with what Matt said. I think that pretty much is right. And maybe Flick's problem is that she might get as far as the final 3 with them, but she's not going to get to the final 2. So what's the point? And that's what Matt is trying to say. He's sort of thinking, he's saying to Flick, you have to think about the final 2. Don't just think about the final 3. How are you going to get to the final 2? Who are you going to take with you? And so both he and Sam, they really work Flick over, and they say that her best chance to reach the final 2 basically is with Sam, Matt, and Christy.
Yeah.
Which I think I can see that now, and I think that's, you could see the cogs turning over in Flick's mind. I think that she can sort of see that is the way forward as well.
Yeah, thinking away, trying to think what is my best plan.
That's right. But before we get too much further, then we're straight into a reward challenge.
At first I thought that was actually an immunity, like the layout. It wasn't really looking like it would be in teams.
Well, I was surprised about it as well, actually, because tonight's episode in the TV guide was a 1-hour episode. And with the 1-hour episodes, they normally just have the one challenge, which is an immunity challenge.
Yeah.
So when they said it was a reward challenge, I thought that seemed a bit strange because there wouldn't be enough time then to do the
I was
immunity
confused
challenge.
too.
But this has to be one of the most complicated challenges I've ever seen in Survivor history. So I was having lots of trouble trying to follow what was going on. How about you?
Yeah, I was trying to keep up with everything, with all these people digging and sorting out puzzles and this and that. Just wasn't really making sense.
No, well, basically, as far as I can recall, or as best that I can explain as to how this worked, was that there was a box. They each had a box with a number of items in there to count, some shells and teeth and rocks and things like that. They used those number of items to work out certain coordinates. Then they had those coordinates were on posts. They had to string some rope around the right posts that had the coordinates on it, and then where the rope crossed, that was where they had to dig for some puzzle pieces, find the puzzle pieces, solve the puzzle, and then you win the reward. So that was basically it. And the reward was what, Eliana?
Luxury spa.
Luxury spa.
So lucky.
What does that normally entail?
There was massages, beds, showers, just heaven for survivors.
And that was overnight too, wasn't it? Was it overnight
Yeah.
spa?
Yeah, it was pretty
So
cool.
proper sleep and a real bed, all that sort of thing. Did you notice Flick had her glasses on again?
Yeah, I didn't really notice she had glasses until the past few episodes because she didn't really wear them in the earlier episodes.
You know that she means business when she gets the glasses out. That's what I think.
Yes.
She's very serious. With this as well, you got all the stuff at the start about these items, coordinates and ropes and things like that. The actual area, the sandy area where the puzzle pieces were buried, wasn't that big. The bag of puzzle pieces was quite big, actually.
Yeah, it was massive.
So you think, wouldn't they just skip all the ropes and coordinate stuff and just start digging?
Yeah, that's what I would do.
I think they'd have a fair go just at digging, wouldn't they?
Yeah, that's what... I didn't see the point of wasting your time just trying to count all the shells and all the little pieces. It's not that big, just like a tiny sand pit. You just dig and you'll probably get in the lead.
Maybe they weren't allowed to, I don't know.
Yeah, but I would have tried it.
Oh, is that right? Well, Lee was the first one to dig his pieces out. I think Flick actually found the bag first. I think she found her bag
she
first,
did.
but she just had trouble getting it out. It was just
Yeah.
such a big bag, and it was dug so deep. And so Lee got his pieces first, and then basically the rest of them pretty much got their pieces soon after that. And but Lee had the head start on the puzzle though, so he was the first one
Yeah.
actually working on the puzzle. And Matt seemed to be probably the next possible contender, and he was. I mean, Matt is good at puzzles, isn't he?
Yeah, he's generally good.
And he was catching up, doing all kinds of things. We're all blowing out sand as though the sand was causing the
Yeah,
puzzle
that
not
was
to
pretty
work
funny, that
properly.
excuse.
And Matt eventually catches up and he wins.
Yeah, that was
wins.
really good. I was actually expecting for Lee to win.
Yes. Now what's exactly? So yeah. So Matt won, and then we hit with another surprise for tonight. JLP says he said that there'll be a second person on the reward, which is what we probably expected because that's what normally happens.
Yeah, that's what always happens.
But he said that will be discovered tonight at Tribal Council.
Yeah, that was so confusing. I was just like ticking over my mind. What is he talking about? It makes no sense.
That's what I mean. Christy said, "What does that even mean?"
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
And then JLP said, "You'll find out tonight."
So mysterious.
And it just seems like this has come just at the time when it seemed like maybe Flick was going to flip again. She's going to do a different alliance, and all that now is sort of thrown in. It's sort of just thrown up in the air now, isn't it? Because you aren't sure what was going to happen with Tribal Council, so they couldn't really do anything with this possible new alliance. So we get to Tribal Council. No one's got an immunity idol or necklace or anything like that.
Wait, no. Lee has an advantage
Yes, that's right.
from the earlier game.
Yeah, that's right.
that
Lee
still hasn't used.
Lee, that's right. That's a good point, Eliana. So he still has that advantage, but that didn't even come up because they weren't voting anyway for anyone to go home because no one was going to go home. It was a tribal council with no one going home.
That was really awkward.
So this was they had another reward. So they had two reward challenges essentially tonight. So they had a
Sort of.
well, it was because the winner of this one gets to go with Matt. So really, it's the same prize again.
Yeah, but I thought that because Matt had the prize already, I didn't really see the point of him actually participating. I thought all the others were just gonna try.
I thought that as well. I thought, well,
yeah, it's pretty
okay.
silly.
Well, I guess maybe the reason with Matt though is that
He could like decide.
Yeah, because it's one of those challenges where where if you're correct, then you get to. Well, hang on. I'll just explain what the overall challenge was first, because that won't make more sense. But the survivors had to answer questions that had previously been asked to see who can guess the most popular answer. And so anyone who got these questions right, they would get to go and strike off one of the names of people on the board, and each person had kind of like 5 lives on the board. So I guess Matt playing the game, even though he can't win again, he can help to decide who's going to be that second person to join him by But I find that these sorts of challenges are they're just very unfair because
Yeah.
you might have everyone just all stacks up against someone else and just gets rid of someone straight away.
Yeah. So
But
people don't really have an even chance.
I know exactly. It's not very fair. Although it did turn out in the end, it was pretty even towards the end.
Yeah,
I
it
think
was.
no one was really picked on, were they?
Okay.
In this,
Well, it's
in this
sort of
challenge?
like revenge because when if Christy would get out Flick, and then Flick would hit one of Christy's names, and they would
Yeah.
just keep on doing that
As a
over
real
and over
tit for
again.
tat. Yeah, it was. And so then the winner is the person that still has that hasn't been totally crossed off the board. They get to join
Yeah.
Matt at the spa. So we'll just run through the questions. The first one was, who most deserves to win Survivor? And the correct answer for that was Sam, and no one got that right. So this is what everyone else, the most popular answer in the previous survey that they had done was Sam was the winner. And when they asked the question tonight at Tribal Council, no one got that right, which is quite interesting. Then the next
Yeah.
question was, who least deserves to win? And this was Sam as well. And
That
I
was
don't know
so
what that
stupid.
even means. How can you be most deserving and least deserving to win Survivor?
Yeah, his name popped up quite a bit
It did.
throughout the questions.
It did actually. It did. Well, only Lee got that one correct, and he smashes Sam's name on the board. So that probably shows where their relationship is going, doesn't it?
Pretty much down the drain.
The next one is, who is playing the game more than anyone? The winner, the correct answer for that was Flick, and most people got that one right. The next one was, who was flying under the radar? That one was Elle, and I think that would.
I thought it should have been Christy. Christy is sort of like hiding in the shadows. I did not expect Elle.
She is a bit, but I guess with Elle, certainly from a viewer's perspective as well, we haven't really seen much of Elle on TV, really.
Not
You know, I
really.
mean, she's not featured that much. She's almost kind of, she's been in the shadow of Lee quite a bit. We've seen a lot more of Christy, so I can understand why people would think that Elle has been flying under the radar. The next question was, who is least likely to win the game? That was Sam again.
That was really silly.
Was the correct answer. Now at this stage, Sam only has one life left on the board. One life
yeah.
left. Next one is, who was the most popular player? That went to Lee. Lee was the correct answer. Who was the least popular player? That went to Christy. And at that point, Sam loses his last life. He's out of the challenge. So he's the first person out of the challenge. Next question, who do you most want sitting next to you in the final two? And the correct answer was Elle.
Oh, I wouldn't have her. Not if I was playing that game. I would have someone more reliable.
Well, it's funny because I thought you wouldn't want to have Elle with you, would you? Because she is a pretty likable person in camp, and she hasn't really annoyed anyone. So
yeah, she sort of really gets on with most people.
yeah, and you don't want that in the final two.
No.
You want someone that everyone else hates.
Yeah.
Now, the next question was, who do you least want sitting next to you? That one was Sam again, was the correct answer. Now, at this stage, everyone only has one life left, except Elle has two. Next question, who is the least likely to blindside you? Sam again was the correct answer. Everyone got that one right.
Yeah.
Now, we're now down to Elle is out and Lee is out, and that leaves Flick and Matt left. The last question, who is the worst listener? That one was Sam again, was the
Wow.
was the correct answer. So I think you're right, Leon. I think that Sam was the most popular answer for almost all those questions, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Flick got that one right, and that's when she says the immortal lines, winner, winner, chicken bloody dinner.
That was pretty funny.
She was pretty happy. Now, JLP says at that point, which I was totally expecting anyway, he said, before you go to the spa, you have to. There's just one more spot. You have to pick one more person, but both Matt and Flick have to agree on who that third person is.
Yeah, I totally saw that coming. Like in American Survivor, they do that all the time.
Yeah, they do.
Like, why can't they just say, you two other people are going to go to this reward, not just drag it out, say, you get to go, and this person, and another person. It's like, hurry up already.
Oh, it just makes it exciting, for them having to choose someone like that. It just sort of draws it out a bit more. And they ended up taking Christy, which was
Really good for Matt.
It was. And I mean, it was good for Christy because she's never had a reward before. So it's nice that she was able to do that. And as Matt, he's ever the strategy player, isn't he? And so he
Yeah.
thought having some alone time with Flick and Christy was the most perfect thing for him because he really wants to get in their ear and try and flip them around. And he's got the perfect time to do it without Lee and Elle looking over his shoulder and all that sort of stuff. So Matt thought that was fantastic. Now, the final surprise tonight was... Do you remember what the final surprise was?
No, there was quite a few.
Yeah, no, the final one was, after that, then JLP said to the others, he said,
yeah.
you aren't going back to your camp, you're going to Exile Beach.
That was so funny. It's like they just want to make it worse for those players, make them feel so bad for themselves.
That's right. There's no fires, no shelter. He said that they'll be given machete, a machete and some flint.
That was
And
so
that's all.
funny.
So...
The looks on their faces, it is like, no.
No, that's right. Well, I'm sorry, but tonight, Eliana, we can't play the sad music because no one actually went home.
Oh, I was looking forward to that part.
Yeah. Now, I don't have a specific tweet to talk about, but I did have a bit of a quick look, and I could see that there was a bit of a consensus about this being a bit of a pointless episode. And if you think about it, it really was a pointless episode because
no one got voted out.
That's right. No one got voted out. This is right down towards the skinny end of the season now, and
Yes.
and this is where we want stuff to be happening. And it just seemed like a bit of a delaying sort of tactic of, for some reason, I'm not sure why they've done this. So no one went home. They had a reward challenge. We didn't even get to see them go on reward.
Yeah, that was really annoying.
So we haven't even seen them go on the spa yet. We had the three losers go to Exile Beach, which seemed pointless as well. I'm not sure why they sent those three to Exile Beach, because normally people go to Exile Beach or Exile Island. It's like it's to try and damage their social game by separating them from everyone else. But it doesn't separate them really, because they were already going to be separated just by going back to the normal beach. It just seemed just very cruel for no apparent reason, didn't it?
Yeah, and because they didn't have anyone voted out on the episode, now they're only having like 2 episodes a week, then it's going to take it even longer to find out the sole survivor. So they're just dragging it out, and I just want stuff to happen, people to go out.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, because I have looked at the TV schedule and there's actually 4 episodes left. So we've got Monday night's episode coming up for this week, and then next week we've got Sunday, Monday, Tuesday.
3 again?
And that'll be it. So on Tuesday, the 25th of October will be the final episode, and we'll find out who is the sole survivor for Australian Survivor.
Oh, I can't wait to see what that is.
Have you got any favourites so far? Who are you looking? Who would you like to win?
I would like Lee to win, because no one really has anything against him, and he's just a generally good guy, really.
He is, yeah. No, he is. He certainly is pretty likable. Look, it's getting pretty hard to choose at this stage, because I like to choose someone who's a bit of a player who's made some good moves and some interesting moves. And Lee and Elle haven't really made any interesting moves. They've just been part of a really successful alliance, and they've just steamrolled their way to the end. Matt, half the time, hasn't really known what's going on either. So even though he seems to be a strategist, I don't always see that. Christy kind of floats back and forth as to what
It's
she's
like a
doing.
sitting duck.
Exactly. Sam doesn't know what's going on either, really, does he?
Yeah.
Sam. And so really that just leaves Flick, really, even though she always hasn't been the most liked player, she is the one who has probably made the most moves, who is still left in the game, hasn't she?
Mm-hmm.
So probably at this stage, in terms of who has been playing the game hardest and been successful at it, I would say it's probably Flick at this stage. So, and Did you pick up on how many times people said 100% in this episode?
Yes.
Did you hear it? How many?
Yes, there were so many times like Flick kept on saying, I'm with you, 100%. We're going to vote out Christy, 100%. It's like,
Well,
would you stop talking about numbers?
Well, I think they only said it twice in this episode, so it wasn't quite as much as previous episodes, but they still said it twice.
Yeah.
Well, I think that brings us to the end of this episode. We're looking forward to the next episode. I hope they actually vote someone out next episode.
Yeah, me too.
That'd be good. Well, thanks very much for joining us, Eliana, and hopefully we'll see you next time.
Okay.
And thanks for listening, everyone. See you later.
100%.